Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a Beyonce song.
Yeah.
Wow.
Beyonce.
Yeah, she's going to show up at Stagecoach, and I can't wait for the social medias to lose their minds.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be bonkers.
It's going to be bonkers. I hope she performs with Tanner Adele. I hope she pulls a Megan Thee Stallion merging of the songs and redoes Buckle Bunny with Beyonce, featuring Beyonce. Have you heard Buckle Bunny?
Oh, Buckle Bunny's a fun one.
You're saying a lot of words I don't know.
It's a song.
Tanner Adele is a female black musician that has been trying to like get seen for years. And when Beyonce came out with Texas Hold'em, everyone and their mother was like, oh, I need more of this. What other artists can I listen to? And Tanner Adele was like, duh, me. She has a song called Buckle Bunny, which is delicious.
Okay.
When Megan Thee Stallion was on her come up and Beyonce was like, picked you out of a bunch, they did a crossover song that was Megan's, and then Beyonce did a combo with her, like a version with her.
Interesting.
Yeah, and put her little spin to it. And I really hope she does that with Tanner Adele because it would be amazing.
The girl deserves it, first of all.
She absolutely deserves it. And Tanner Adele is on the Blackbird song on the new Cowboy Carter album with 3 other black musicians.
Nice.
Did you know, I think I told you this, that the Beatles wrote Blackbird about black women in the 60s?
I knew that.
Interesting.
And that's why Beyonce wanted to cover it, because she found out the true history of the song.
Yeah.
And wanted multiple black women to sing it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And be blackbirds.
Yeah.
And they all the 4 singers who are on the song all got blackbird tattoos together.
Cute.
Well, that's really sweet.
Really sweet.
Because, I mean, if you get invited to be on a Beyonce track, like...
We're getting excited.
I would get tattooed too.
All over.
My whole body. I did
body.
a song with Beyonce just across my chest.
Pretty much. I mean, Post Malone's on it, so I'm sure he's next.
Right.
His song is great. It's called Levi Jeans.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
He's having a year.
He really is.
Because he's also on the opening title track, or not title track, but the first single of the new Taylor album.
Oh, really?
And he's in the music video for it.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. And he was in Roadhouse.
And he was in Roadhouse.
James watched it. He didn't really like it.
I have not seen it.
Oh,
I've also never seen the
It
original.
was good. It wasn't amazing, but it was good.
That's kind of what he said. He was like, it was okay.
Yeah.
I watched it. It was a thing. He didn't like the Ewan McGregor.
I didn't either.
Because
Conor McGregor, but...
Thank you, sorry.
But I know, I knew you were talking about. Yeah, don't disgrace Ewan like that.
Yeah, my bad.
How dare you talk Obi-Wan's name like that?
Never Obi-Wan.
It's Obi-Wan.
Because he doesn't know how to act.
No.
So he just pretended to be angry the entire movie and do the creepy smile thing.
I guess he had a lot more to do with the fighting portions and like choreographing.
Sound it out.
Choreography.
There you go.
Choreographing.
Yeah.
Of the fighting.
Good job.
Which is cool and probably paid off.
Yeah.
You could tell it paid off.
Yeah.
The cinematography was very cool. Like the way all the scenes were shot were very interesting.
It was another one of those I'm going to read next to you and watch it situations. So I can
There's
attest.
some intensities.
Very.
I don't know where I was going with that word.
Intense moments
In that movie.
Very violent.
I'm trying to think of like the most recent movie I've seen, of like, not the most recent that I've watched, but a recent movie that came out.
That you went to see?
Not that I even went to see, but that I watched. And I haven't really watched anything that's come out super recently.
I told Kelly, James, and I tried to watch Wish, the new Pixar. Not a fan.
No, I've heard it's not.
And it's all. Why do they keep doing musicals?
Yeah.
The music is
I
not
will say
good.
one of my new favorite things on Disney Plus that I did watch was it's a cartoon. But I have to look up the name of it.
I'm not really one to watch a lot of animated cartoon movies.
Yeah, I understand. This is recent.
Yeah.
Only in recent years because I started getting into anime.
Mm.
Who am I? I think I'm trying to heal inner child things.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch cartoons a whole lot.
So now you're finding ones that are for you.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
I like that for you.
Okay, so I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, but it's set in a futuristic sci-fi version of Nigeria.
Oh.
And it's called, I'm going to butcher it, I think it's Owaju.
Okay.
But it's really interesting, and I watched the first 2 episodes, but it's about
it's a show.
It's a show,
Huh.
yeah. And the animation style is really fun, and it's all like this really great, cool, futuristic technology.
Cool.
Because basically it's about this little girl whose dad is like very well off, and they live on this like futuristic island in Nigeria that is all the like wealthy people, and then everyone else still lives out in the villages that like surround the island, and she's not allowed to go off island with like either without her father really at all.
Yeah. Interesting.
And he gives her this little like salamander that is a piece of technology that he created that is supposed to, there's all these kidnappings that are happening of wealthy people's children being taken for ransom money.
Oh God.
And
Is this a
on
children's
Disney
show?
Plus?
yeah, it was actually a little intense
And dark.
for some of it, but I don't know, it's really interesting, and it's a fun watch. The music's really fun. They go in and out of like local dialogues and languages and stuff, and it's very colorful.
I think that was why I was so disappointed with Wish, because the animation style was so good. It was so interesting to watch. It's a lot. They wanted to make it look like a storybook. So it's a lot of sketchiness and cool layering. And then the backgrounds are all done in watercolor, like you did it from a coloring book.
Oh.
It's really,
that's really cool.
pretty to watch.
Yeah.
And the side characters are really cute. There's a goat that talks. There's a like,
I have seen.
there's a little
videos of the
bouncing
little goat.
star with a little smiley. And he's adorable. And the girl is gorgeous. She's so cool. She has braids. She's like supposed to be the first Disney girl. Like, I think she's mixed and she has braids, and she's supposed to be the first like mixed princess potentially.
Oh.
Because she's going to be a sorceress. But I didn't finish the movie.
Oh.
I think because James was so uninterested.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Hey, welcome to Budding Contracts. I think we want to do a question. Kelly, you want to pull? Let's just do one, since we're going to do some Renaissance resolutions updates this episode.
Yeah.
And I want to have time for it all. And then we're going to do a pillar convo about mental health and our history with mental health and therapy. But first, what do you got?
Ghosting is real. Have you ever ghosted someone or been ghosted yourself?
Both. Copy paste.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had a stalker for a while in Seattle.
How exciting.
He actually every once in a while finds a way to get my number and be able to text me. I think he saves it. When I got married, the messages turned very nasty of like, you're so ugly, you're so fat, look what you've become. And I'm like, I'm literally 70 pounds lighter than the last time you saw me, but that's fine. It's cool.
It's cool.
Chris. Yeah, we met on Tinder and we slept together and it wasn't good. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. Be gone. And he was just not happy with that.
Yeah.
And he pushed and pushed and pushed. So I ghosted and blocked because he was just not taking no for an answer. And I'm usually pretty good about being like, here's my reasoning, because I have been ghosted and it feels very yucky and I never want to do that to someone. But then I need to remember that I was dating men. They just don't deserve it. I'm just kidding.
Counts.
Sorry. Not really. But yeah, he finds a way to either like get into my DMs, or he makes new accounts, or he gets new phone numbers, and he finds a way to get in front of me.
So much effort.
So much effort. I'm like, could you go get a hobby?
Yeah.
And then the worst ghosting was the boyfriend I had before James, who turned out to be married.
Oh, yes.
We've
talked about him.
We've talked about him. And he basically ghosted me too in the very end of it. And that was fine because like that was very unhealthy.
Yeah.
But he too will find ways, like every couple of years, like I said, he'll come back and just be like, you were the one.
You're
like, who is this? How do you have my number? And also why? Am I the one? But thank you. Very complimentary.
Wow.
Yeah. What about who's going next?
Go ahead.
Me? So I don't know if I've really ever ghosted anyone, really. Like, I feel like, let me say like 7 more times, Jesus.
It's fine.
I like
it. I went out with a handful of people on Tinder and like other dating apps, whatever. And if it wasn't going anywhere, it was just kind of like, keep okay, bye and whatever. But there was one date that I went on and it was good. And then we were going to have we were going to hang out again.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, like come over to my place. And I was like, okay, cool. Sounds good. Whatever. So I drive to Scottsdale. I'm in school. So
that's far.
Phoenix to Scottsdale.
That's across town.
Yeah. I drive over there. He lives in the same condo complex as my grandparents.
Oh, no.
Of all the gin joints.
I know. And so I'm like, oh, I know exactly where this is. Okay, cool. I'll see you in 30 minutes. So I drive over and he just doesn't answer his phone or like I have to be buzzed into the building.
Right.
So I'm just like sitting outside. Like, how long do I sit here and wait? You were the one that invited me over.
Yeah.
Okay, weird, but whatever. And then I just left.
Yeah.
But he was one that also, so I guess that would be considered ghosting, but he would still
text
like
you?
Snapchat.
Oh, no.
For years.
What?
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like.
So you met him once or not at all? You met him
once. We went on a date.
Okay. So he can't claim like nervousness and or lying about what he looks like.
We had seen each other. We had been in person with each other. And then like 2 nights later, he was like, come over. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And then also I'm sitting there outside waiting to be buzzed in. And I'm like, if my grandparents for some reason come out and they're like, Kelly, why are you at this random building?
Well,
we live over in this building. I'm like, I got turned around.
Where am
Surprise visit. Hi.
Yeah, I really missed you guys.
Because what are you going to say? Well, grandma.
Yeah. So,
oof.
Yeah. But
how weird.
Even I like re-downloaded Snapchat just to see like who's on Snapchat, but no one. And I had like video like messages from him and stuff, but they're always just like what he's cooking or
so dumb.
Like, random. And I'm like,
I wonder if he remembers that you are a Snapchat friend. Because can't you send it to groups of people, right?
Yeah.
Like multiples. Not
I
just
don't know.
one
Maybe.
Yes.
So
strange.
Yeah.
Although I did hear Snapchat is like one of the biggest influencer moneymakers right now. Because
everyone's pushing to Snapchat.
I know. Maybe we need to be on Snapchat again because it's more.
I still have it on my phone, but I barely use it. I have like one friend that I mainly use it for.
You were my last holdout of people that I knew that were still using it.
Yeah.
And it's still on my phone, but I maybe use it once a day, maybe.
That's a lot.
I had re-downloaded it again recently just to see who was on it because I do it periodically.
Yeah.
And didn't do anything with the app really, but I kept getting notifications every day of like so-and-so updated their story. I'm like, I don't care.
I have all those turned off.
Oh, I need it. Yeah. Oh, I just deleted the app again because I was like, too much work.
Bye.
Go away.
Yeah, I think it had carried over from phone to phone and I just never bothered to like, and I do still have like my friend Justine and I use it. That's our main texting thing because we usually will send each other like, vlogs basically.
Yes.
Instead of voice memos or pictures.
I love a voice memo.
I don't.
I do now that Apple updated the way voice memos play because you can pause them and rewind and fast forward. And when your phone locks, it goes into like its music. So you can pause it on the lock screen instead of having to unlock
before
and like
you would have to like scrub through.
Yes. So obnoxious.
For those good old 9-minute voice memos.
Sometimes
me and Amy will do 10-minute voice memos.
We'll make podcasts.
We'll make a little mini podcast for each other.
Wow. Well, and that's what like Justine and I will basically do. We almost have our own little like book club.
Yeah,
because we'll just her and I on Snapchat telling each other what books we're reading or what we're listening to or whatever. We've been talking about the new Taylor album this week and just that kind of thing. Especially she used to live here. I met her because she was going to GCU and she went to the college group that I was going to at the time. And then both of us have like deconstructed and all that and just stayed friends. And she moved back to where her family's at. And
cool. Have you been ghosted?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, bud.
You betcha.
You betcha. So many times.
Oh no.
So many.
Have you ghosted?
Oh yeah. Because My only real dating experience has been in the age of Tinder, Bumble,
which
Hinge,
is so
whatever.
weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, I never had adult dating before those existed.
Right.
Because they've existed since I was in high school.
Yeah.
I had Tinder at 17. Like,
woof.
Gross.
Wow.
Could you imagine having Tinder in college?
I mean,
did
you?
She did.
Yeah.
That's how
I
she
was
met
all of
Jansen.
college?
I think I downloaded it maybe my sophomore year.
No, I didn't think that was out that early.
Yeah.
Oh
2013.
She's only 3 years older than me.
I know.
And then I met Jansen. I was a junior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Tinder.
End of my junior year on Tinder. And then we obviously dated all through my senior year.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought when you guys met, it was new.
Oh, no.
Mm.
I'd been on there for a little bit.
It was still new enough that it wasn't
minute.
full trash yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay for it yet.
Yeah, it was still free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never paid for it. When
I've never
met
paid.
James, they had just launched some paid efforts, but I could care less.
Yeah.
Seattle Tinder is top notch.
I've been
I
on
mean-
it.
No, I'm just
Oh,
joking.
I anytime I was in any other city that wasn't Phoenix.
Absolutely.
Swipe.
Oh.
I went on dates when I was on a work trip in Nashville.
Yeah. I've gone on dates in other
Not
countries.
Nashville, Austin, but still.
Yeah.
Because
I
I was
guess-
there for like 12 days.
Yeah.
So I was like, might as well.
I
Austin's not that far from Arizona.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I would use it when I go home in the summer in
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Go on some dates there. Which I'm like, how did I even do that? Because I brought people home with me from college that like worked at camp with
Yes.
us. And so like we were always together on the weekends too. So was I just like, bye guys, I'll be back.
Gotta go get that free dinner.
Yeah.
I
Girls gotta eat.
Amen.
I think the last person I truly ghosted was the girl that I went on a date with in Austin.
Yeah.
Like almost 2 years ago.
Wait, the one with that weird night?
Yeah, it was a weird night. That was
Yeah.
a night.
That was an interesting family
So she
text
was a
thread.
recovering alcoholic, which like cool.
Yeah, sure.
But the entire reason I wanted to like go to the restaurant we were going to was because I had heard about their incredible cocktail menu.
Oh no.
And then I felt weird about ordering one because then I find out about midway through the date that she's like very newly recovered.
Oh.
And her sponsor is in the car in the parking lot.
What?
Oh, did you not know that part?
No.
Oh, yeah. Sponsor was outside the entire time. She was still living with her sponsor at the time.
Is that common that you live with your sponsor?
I think when you're as like
She needed it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't it a thing when you're doing
That
that
you're not
to
supposed to
not
be dating?
dating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're not supposed to date other addicts, but
I think it's
Anyways,
relationships. From what I know of the Sex and the City episode where Carrie dates somebody who's a smoker and an alcoholic,
Oh.
you're not supposed to be in a relationship for the first year. Listen.
yeah, no, so I definitely ghosted real hard on that one.
Yeah.
Like I was like, block, bye.
So easy.
So easy.
Yeah, and I've never gone so far as to like block people. I want
Well, especially because I had already like added her on
Really?
Snapchat.
Oh, I love the block.
There's been a couple that I've blocked.
Needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Too much, you know.
My stalker.
My
blocked.
stalker from when I was 18.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Blocked
Oh,
him real
yeah.
hard. Oh yeah, bud.
Oh, yeah. Hey, should we do some Renaissance resolution updates?
Yeah, buddy.
Ooh, yeah.
Why am I so Wisconsin in this episode? Oh yeah, bud. Let's
We're all
do some.
supposed to live in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I can go first. The brand, the book, the body, the book. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, bud.
I'm on chapter 3.
Hey,
Oh.
that's farther than you were last time we talked about it.
Things have changed in the setup of the book based on. I just started writing my mom's section.
Oh.
Instead of writing my grandma's section for part 1, I think I'm going to go chapter by chapter.
Mm.
Because I do like that style of reading. And I think I might like that style of writing because it makes my ADHD a little bit happy that
Oh,
I
I
don't
do
have
like
to
when the person's name is in like below the title
and then
of the chapter.
year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll flip back and forth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think my section I'll leave to the very end. And it'll just flip back and forth between my mom and grandma.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then the epilogue and
Prologue.
epilogue will be the future story.
Mhm.
100 years later.
Huh?
So, anyways, it's not going, but I had a really great conversation with my friend Carrie, who listens to the podcast. Hello, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Hello.
She had great advice to just not do until the inspiration is there, because it's pointless and empty and doesn't feel good to just write for writing's sake. And I shared with her that I kind of was thinking about doing a Medium blog like Tess has been doing, just to write short stories or thoughts and word vomit and just get some more practice in that isn't storytelling yet, because I think I tried to jump too quickly.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's going to sound
a big undertaking.
Yeah, for sure. And that's okay. I want it to be a big undertaking because it's something I've always wanted to do. But that has kind of played into my mental health yuckiness, is just like, okay, I've said I want to do this my whole life and I have the time and I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with your life?
Yeah.
The brand, well, we're back. Ta-da.
Hello.
Also, Kelly and I have been meeting still for the side projects and side company ideas, and still building towards those, and similarly taking the same advice of, we're going to do this when we're inspired. We're not going to just do it for doing its sake. That's dumb. We should have fun building something with each other. And that's been awesome. And I'm still excited about the thing that we're making.
Me too.
And it's blossoming.
And yeah, I think as it goes on and we continue to have more conversations about it, we kind of revamp a little bit of, maybe we need to change our direction a little bit, which is nice that we're not so far in the weeds in one direction, and it would
stuck.
Yeah, be hard to come back from that. We're like, well, there's still plenty of time to
all the time
change things. Yeah.
Yes. And we've never said it publicly. We're not pushing anything about it yet.
Yeah.
Because we know it's in its genesis and phase 1. But we did think that phase 1 was going to be 6 weeks.
Yeah. We were like, we were going to be
in beta testing,
launched
in production
by now.
Yeah.
No.
And it's,
I think phase 1 might be a year.
But
which
that's
is
fine. True of most
companies.
Yeah. Product, and like, especially
Totally.
if you're making, digital or physical product, whatever. Usually that development is a year.
Yeah, exactly.
And you want it to be fuller than just,
here's this thing,
a single little thing.
Yes. And that's what it's blossoming into. More of a lifestyle company.
You have to think about it as like, would I walk into a Shark Tank episode with what I have right now? Probably not.
I wouldn't walk into Shark Tank regardless. They fucking terrify me.
Yeah.
The mean one.
Which one?
And the basketball one.
The basketball one?
He's so yucky. What's his name? Cuban?
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, not a fan.
Except he has the best cameo in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine that is one of my favorite, like, celebrity cameos ever. He just comes in to let the character, like, borrow his plane. And it's just, I don't know, it's a great bit.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
The body, she's okay. I had an unfortunate weigh-in on the eVolt machine this weekend. I was telling Kelly yesterday, or when I got in, I've been on a plateau for a year. Like, let's just say it. I've been at the same weight since the wedding. No, this is more annoying. I've gained muscle. So I gained all the weight that I lost a few months before the wedding, but it's all in muscle. Because none of my wedding clothes fit. They're all huge on me now. Hilarious. But as a female, the scale going up doesn't feel great. And then the scale staying up feels awful.
But it's strength.
I know.
That's endurance.
I know. And I will say, my body hurts less. I'm not as sore in the mornings. I know, like, my weight has gone up. What I'm lifting has gone up. That feels cool.
Your PRs and stuff.
Yeah. But
I love a good PR.
Me too, I guess. I'm just feeling discouraged, but I have Helen's. Thank you, Helen. So she's refiguring out my macros now that I did another weigh-in, and she's going to redo my workout plan so that I'm not doing the same 4 days of things, because I have like a 4-day plan that does a different section every day, do cardio every day. We need to switch some things up.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do that. And I'm also petrified because I just feel like it's going to be more chicken. I hate chicken. I'm so sick of chicken.
Yeah.
It's all we eat. And egg whites. But
yeah,
it's for the best because the goal is that we feel really comfortable when we go travel in December.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
it'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it.
That's a long flight.
Well, the flight has changed.
Oh.
So when I wanted to go to Thailand for my 30th,
Mhm.
I was going for the month of September, obviously.
Yeah. Duh.
Duh. And that is off season for Thailand because I love traveling off season for places. I don't like people.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going in December. Guess whose peak vacation time is in December?
Oh.
Thailand. Like literally the middle of it.
Yeah.
November through January, February.
Dang.
Yeah. So we're looking at some other things. We have 2 sections that we're interested in. Germany, Denmark, Netherlands.
Fun.
Right?
Mhm.
Christmas in Germany, Christmas markets.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Being cold
Unless
for
they get
Christmas.
rained out.
That's fine.
Sorry.
That's what an umbrella is.
We'll be there for a month. It is what an umbrella is for. Or Spain, Portugal, that whole area.
Yeah.
There's a third one. I don't remember what the third one is. Because we love Somebody Feed Phil, and the Spain episode, Barcelona episode, is like one of our favorites. I love Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. So
How
who knows? We're waiting until he gets his his next bonus for the next half of the year, and that will be our budget. That's the other thing that we decided. Instead of just like willy-nilly trying to figure out how much money we want to spend, we're just going to spend his bonus.
Nice.
And plan that way.
I love it.
How fun.
Yeah. Those are my updates.
Kelly,
Cool. Me?
I would love to hear your updates.
Thank you so much for asking. My Renaissance resolutions. 1, be kinder to myself.
Yeah.
I've kind of backslid a little bit. I think because I was just in a negative headspace all around. I've noticed myself a little bit more being a little more negative towards myself. I feel like I was doing really good at the beginning. And yeah, in the last like month or so, I've noticed I'm just like saying mean things.
At least you're aware that you're saying them.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is the
that is gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at first, I don't think I ever really paid attention. And then you guys are like, you're so mean to yourself.
You're so mean to yourself.
So yeah, I'm at least
That's
aware.
Good.
And trying to be better. But yeah.
Progress.
Making health a priority, kind of at the same spot a little bit.
You think?
I don't know.
With Clean Simple Eats?
I have been eating a lot healthier.
Yeah, dude.
So I guess there's that. But again, I haven't been working out, and what we were saying too, and I haven't been losing that much weight, but like I gain and lose the same 5 pounds over and over again. And so, and I weigh myself too often.
Same.
But I need to just not, 1, do that. And 2, I need to be consistent with eating healthy and also working out. But I just.
And sleep.
Which I took a nap.
Good job.
Which I don't normally nap. But yeah, so I think in that respect, I'm taking care of my body a little bit more. In the doctor side of things, I haven't really been doing anything for that.
Okay.
I've just been.
Because you were going to find a GP, right?
Mm-hmm.
And an eye doctor over here? Or did you found an eye doctor over here?
No, my eye doctor is in Chandler. But I feel this way similarly as I feel for hair beauty professionals. Anyone good is on the east side.
Yeah.
So
and it's worth traveling for.
Yeah.
Totally.
And honestly, 30 minutes, 40 minutes means nothing to me.
Totally.
Yeah.
I grew up and anything was minimum 30-minute drive.
Same.
So
part of life.
Yeah. And I don't commute for work. So
true.
Me having to
it's like a little
go
treat.
to a doctor's office. Yeah. So
get to leave the house.
Yeah.
Got your podcast, get your coffee.
Yeah.
Make a day of it. Okay.
Still need to work on that, but I have, and I haven't done it.
Yeah.
So whatever. It is what it is. The other 2 was I wanted to find like a sense of style.
Yeah.
And I I don't know. But I got a Wantable box
Ooh.
subscription.
Okay.
So they send you like 6 random clothing items.
Cool.
And you can decide if you want to keep them or
send
them back.
What's the difference between them and Rent the Runway or
Stitch Fix?
I don't know.
Their shtick.
They say that like they have an actual stylist who is picking out these clothes for you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that's true, I don't
It's
actually
AI.
know. But yeah.
Your AI stylist.
Yeah.
But.
But like I get to go through, I can't remember what they call it, the edit or something like that. And you can choose from a bunch of seasonal type things of if you like or don't like.
Yeah.
And they'll try to put some of those items in your box.
Okay.
So I think I think you get one more piece of clothing in this subscription box versus Stitch Fix, I think only does 5.
Okay. That's nice.
But
more bang for your buck.
It's a little pricey.
Yeah. If you keep the clothes.
Yeah. Your styling fee is like $20 and that goes towards your final payout.
Okay.
But each item is $40 to $60.
I feel like that's clothing prices these days.
Honestly.
For quality stuff, you're paying
like
$50,
if you were going
$60.
to Madewell, you'd be paying. Although, okay, I really do want to take you to a Madewell.
I've never heard of that.
Because I think, one, that you would really enjoy it, but their stuff is usually pretty quality. And yes, it's a store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a clothing brand.
Yeah, there's one at Scottsdale, in Scottsdale.
We can go tomorrow. I love Madewell. Yeah. My mom jeans that I have that come up to like here, those are Madewell jeans, and I bought them almost 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And they look brand new still.
Their stuff is like actually quality made.
Yes.
Obviously, it's an investment. Good clothing is an investment.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good pieces. And that's the main thing too of Madewell is about, at the base of it, basics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And building your staples and then the fluff.
Yeah.
They also make all my loafers, my black loafers are Madewell. I've had them for almost a decade. They also do like a program to resole them if you've had them long enough. They have bags, kids' clothes, and they're pretty ethical and sustainable these days. They've also started to have, plus size sizing, but they don't have all of our styles come in all sizes yet, which every brand should have, in my opinion.
They definitely are a lot more inclusive sizing wise on their website.
Yes, not in person.
That's just every store for some reason.
We can totally go because I think you would really like their style. It's very Americana J. Crew, like white t-shirt, great jeans, a good cardigan, blazer, like the staple things.
They have really quality knitwear, which obviously in Phoenix isn't, super important. But anyways,
interesting.
I was thinking about that store for some reason for you.
Oh,
I think it would be
that'd be fun to check out. I've never heard of it before. So
what I know of you and what I've seen of your style, I think it's really complimentary. It's like your graduated version of Kelly.
That'd be nice.
The mood boards that you put together, very Madewell.
Oh, okay.
I'm surprised that you didn't know about them, so I'm excited.
Yeah. And I was just taking. At first, I wasn't gonna buy any clothes because I wanted to be in a smaller size, but because all the clothes that I do have, like all my pants are too small.
Yeah.
And I was just forcing myself into them. So uncomfortable. I never wanted to go out. And I was like, why do I keep doing this to myself?
Yes.
So I was like, I finally got a pair of pants
and they're cute.
They're very cute.
Yeah.
Life is too short to not buy clothes that fit you and you feel good in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Life is too short to wait until I'm small enough to fit into this.
And I'm like, what? Why?
No reason.
So I finally bit the bullet and bought some clothes.
Right on.
Yeah.
I like it. Great updates.
Working on my style.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Can you remind me fully what my resolutions were?
Oh boy.
Listen,
your
I have an
resolutions
update.
Were health.
That's the one I have an update
reading.
for. Done a lot of reading.
Yeah, my other one was reading too, but
we can wait for book club.
Yeah.
I think mine was just health and reading, really.
I think it was too.
I think so too.
Okay.
Because you weren't a fan of the Renaissance resolutions because you don't really like resolutions.
Yeah.
And wasn't it just also like moving out, finding a place?
which you did.
Which I did.
Yeah.
I did do that. Yeah, I've now been in my place for 2 months, almost 3, and it's been great. I love it. I love being alone. I've been cooking a lot for myself. Is this too far away from me?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Just project.
Okay.
She's like, got it.
Got it. Done. Theater kid locked in. Health. Okay, so I have a doctor's appointment.
No, you don't.
I do. I have a doctor's appointment on the 30th. So next week.
Okay.
She's not in Arizona. It's through ZocDoc.
Oh, okay.
But she's in network. So
Oh.
she can still meet with me virtually.
Cool.
But she's a licensed dietitian and nutritionist. But also an MD.
Yeah.
And it's a woman. And she had really great reviews about working with people who aren't size 4. And we love that for me. She seems really nice. But yeah, no, I meet with her on the 30th. I took the morning off so that I could mentally prepare for it a little bit, but also, taking doctor's appointments is kind of hard when you work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm trying to also squeeze in a dentist appointment that morning.
Ooh.
It's not working out because they didn't have any openings at my dentist. So I was like, can you please put me on a list and call me if anything opens before this time slot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Halsey, that's great.
Yeah.
I encourage you to write notes.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, just to
sure.
keep, because especially that first visit is so unnerving.
So her intake form was really great.
Good.
And the questions were really good and made me really think about what I wanted to talk to her about. So that was good.
Love.
And then my friend Elizabeth and I, is a friend of our mom and mine, are doing kind of this little competition thing, but instead of it being weight loss based, it's points of you don't get points for losing weight. You get points for drinking enough water in the day. You get points for
eating
enough vegetables, like a serving of vegetables. There's a whole list of, and there's different
I like
steaks
that.
and stuff. And so at the end of it, instead of it being cash or anything like that, we're going to do an activity.
Fun.
So we're going to go do a smash room or something, or go to a concert.
Yeah.
And whoever has the most points doesn't have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
So
we're
starting right after Mother's Day.
Great.
Yeah.
So you'll be equipped with your info from your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be headed down.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's way better than doing The Biggest Loser, which is what I did with a group of girlfriends from church right before I moved to Washington.
Oh, I was a part of the same.
Just reignited my eating disorder. It was so awesome.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
It was great.
Well, and that was the other reason why I picked this doctor, because she's super disordered eating forward and understands.
Educated.
Is educated and just understands that not every person can eat the same way, and
we're all different. Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah.
Congrats. Proud of you.
Thanks. Set that up last week.
Nice.
With the time that we have left, let's talk about mental health.
Yeah.
Okay. So all three of us have very, just as usual, distinctly different journeys with mental health. Personally, I have been in therapy of some kind since I was 25. The first therapist I have, as I say with big ol' air quotes, was a church counselor with no therapy degree. That was a choice. She was also forced upon me in the middle of tumultuous family chaos and change, and wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And
she has a podcast? I'm just kidding.
She does.
She does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Anyways, was also my counselor.
Yeah.
Was also our parents' counselor.
Yeah.
Which is so unethical. I can't even begin.
Insane.
When I told my therapist that, she was like, what?
Every therapist I've had, I have to, when you have a new therapist, you kind of have to give them your history of what your care has looked like. Every single one.
Yeah.
floored.
Yeah.
Like they hear my story and there are parts of it they're like, wow, this is a lot. And then we get to the counseling therapy aspect, which should be some kind of semblance of help.
Yeah.
And I tell them that piece and they're like, excuse me.
Yeah.
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 What? Your abuser was being counseled by this person and then was counseling the rest of your family at the same time and then had access to all of that and then said,
and then would share things
in between
from my sessions with our parents.
Yeah.
Which is so wholly unethical.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
unsafe.
Yeah.
And her and the senior pastors wanted to make sure that the health of the family was honored so that the family could always be together in the end, because that is what the church wants and that's what Jesus wants, instead of, how about we focused on the abused parties in this scenario and actually put their futures above the rest of God's family and get real help. So that was my first therapist. I had a couple of talk therapists when I was in Seattle. And then I kind of talked about it last episode where I started doing CPT therapy, which is used for soldiers who come back from war.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's very intensive. Usually you have to do this type of therapy every single day for a certain amount of time. It's anywhere between 1 month to 3 months, depending on the level of help you need.
Yeah.
So I did it once a week because I worked. I needed to be able to do my job, be a functioning human, and do this therapy. I did it every week for 3 months.
Oh.
And the coolest part about it is that it's based in a lot of science. So there are tests that you have to take after every session. And then eventually you take tests every day to do a check in yourself of what happened, why did it make you feel that way, and then all this math.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I still have the worksheets because you can use them. The whole thing is that you're supposed to learn it and use it after therapy.
Yeah.
That this is the piece that you can hold on to. You don't need to have a human being the person holding your hand through the whole process. And what it does is it helps build up this piece in your brain that most people who go through trauma, especially people in their childhood, that you just never had. Like my brain never had the chance to develop this process of, you're in danger.
Fight or flight.
What do you do now?
Yeah.
Instead of being in danger and saying, this is okay because the danger is the person that's supposed to protect me. And it lets me build those muscles and understand how to handle hard emotions or change without raging or feeling like the world is exploding, which was my entire life. Super interesting. I didn't get medicated. I think the first time I did an antidepressant, it's like 2018, 2017, changed my life. I went on Wellbutrin from this amazing doctor that my group of girlfriends and I found in Seattle, and changed my life because it turned off this piece in my brain that was just always angry and always ragey. And I don't know if I'll be on an antidepressant for my entire life, but if the world looks the way that it does, and Bailey is Bailey, I think I need it.
Yeah.
That being said, last season I did talk about the hope of and finding a great therapist, which I did, but just not being able to afford her. I'm still in this place of bitterness that like I still want to talk to her and have that resource to unpack things, because I think I'm unpacking very different things than 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And I don't know if I can do that by myself, but financially right now is not the time. And it's just not something that I'm willing to go into debt for when we have other things that take priority. And also building something for my future, I would rather pour time and energy into that with you guys than pour money and energy into, let's talk about your mommy issues and your daddy issues.
Yeah.
And all your other issues.
Yeah.
There'll be time for that later. And it's not like I'm falling apart, but
and not like you aren't aware of it and that you haven't started diving into it.
Yeah. And I think I could do a lot of it by journaling. I've been trying to journal more and seeking that out again, because I used to write a lot, but I used to just write what was happening. diary entry and my feelings about what was happening. Now I'm starting to be more retrospective in my journaling and unpack feelings in my journaling.
Yeah.
Which is different for me, but good. And still very much on an antidepressant.
Yeah.
She's great.
I love
So
that.
that's where I'm at. What is your experience, Kelly? Big ol' 0.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because I feel like a lot of other people that listen to us have never done therapy.
Yeah, never done therapy. Never been medicated for things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I've had conversations with friends where we're talking and it's like, oh, they're very therapy focused and advocates for it.
Yep.
You're like, you could really benefit from.
You're like, what are you trying to say?
Yeah. I think everyone can benefit.
Yeah.
From
And
it,
I think, and I agree with that too. I think to some degree that everyone could find something beneficial from therapy.
Yeah.
I just have never done it because I don't know where to start exactly. And I don't, even when I would get, if I were to go into a session, I don't know where I would start.
Right. Like, where do we begin?
Yeah. I'm
today?
like, and what am I here for? Am I here to try to unpack something from my childhood that I just am unaware of and I've
blacked it out,
gone away with? Or is there something else? Like, so it's, I don't know where I would even start. And I think that's kind of part of why I think I have not done it.
How do you remember ever having conversations growing up with your family about therapy, or was it an option or medication?
Mental health in general.
Yeah, was it ever talked about, or was it something that we just, pray, we're going to church, seek out your elders, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure therapy was ever talked about ever.
Yeah.
That I can remember. I remember I was pretty depressed in my high school time.
Yeah.
And I think I told my mom about it maybe, and she had given me some type of medication. Not medication, it was like herbal.
Yes.
To help with
calming.
Okay. To like help bring me out of being depressed.
Interesting. Do you remember it helping? No.
I don't know. I don't remember taking it really regularly.
Yeah.
It was just more of like, I think I need this right now. So I don't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And I just know that it was something that she had that she would give to me.
Interesting.
That sounds weird, but
specialty.
Yeah.
Here's your specialty, Kelly.
Yeah. So it was probably all just being drugged over here. No, I'm just joking. No.
Rosemary oil and some Ambien.
Yeah.
Hey. Warm milk.
Some essential oils or something.
Yeah.
So
that actually, from what I know of your mom and dad, that checks that it would be something, medicinal, but nature related and healthy.
Yeah.
As a way to like use nature for good.
Yeah.
Which I don't feel like a lot of people, we jump to medication first and chemicals because people think brain chemicals need some help, put in some more chemicals and see what happens.
Yeah.
Or you go too far the other direction and go, who needs vaccines when I have lemon?
Right.
I saw a girl the other day, just real fast, on TikTok. She was getting ripped apart by another guy being like, this woman is actually insane. She thinks that she doesn't have to wear sunscreen. She doesn't put sunscreen on any of her family members because did you know that you can change your diet and not get sunburn? This is a palm
Did you know
colored
you
person, by
can
the way.
change your that you can change your mindset enough and you don't need glasses anymore?
She would probably say
I'm not wearing
this.
my
There was another
glasses
girl on
right
TikTok.
now.
Are you wearing contacts?
No.
Oh,
No.
Can you see me? How many fingers am I holding up?
Bailey?
What?
Behind you.
Where are you? Yes, I could see you.
Thank you. Anyways, random people
Yeah.
on the internet.
Yeah.
Halsey.
Hello.
Hi.
I have probably put a little too much thought into my mental health. I think I overthink and overanalyze my emotions to a fault sometimes. Especially as my little Cancer ass.
Cancer, and I think also because you're the baby of the family.
Yeah.
And you're kind of a cuspy Gen Zer.
Yeah. I do often wish I could be more like assertive with myself when it comes to my emotions of like, no, this is how we feel. This is what we're going to do about it.
Yeah.
And
stick
go.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I often do the like, is that really how I feel? Is that the right choice?
Yeah. Wishy-washy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or if I just wait enough, it will get better. Tomorrow will be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Distance, that kind of thing.
I also started going to church counseling on and off starting in 7th grade.
Whee!
I went to my first real therapy appointment when I was 21, but was not super, I mean, it wasn't consistent at all. I only went, I think, 2 or 3 times because I actually really liked him. I know. I was saying a male therapist. Crazy.
Pay a man to talk to about your life and your heart? Couldn't be me.
They don't pay me.
A white man.
A white man. No, he was a white man. And he abandoned me.
Shut up. Did he ghost you?
No, he didn't ghost me. Just during my like 3rd session, he was like, also, by the way, I'm moving practices, and at my new practice, your insurance we don't take your insurance.
He literally fired you.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Lies.
Lies.
I literally would have done that to him. I think you're lying to me.
Yeah.
So
Prove it.
there's that.
And then he's like, but I can kind of pass you over to to my colleague at the same place. I was like, no. And then I just didn't go back to therapy until 2022. And that's when I met my last therapist, Allison.
Okay, yeah. Last. I thought we loved Allison.
I do. I've come in the break, so I haven't both the break from the podcast, but also the break from therapy.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen her in about 8 months.
Right.
I've realized that although I really appreciated her and what the like almost year that I was seeing her did for me, I think I needed to move on to a new therapist anyways, only because there were moments in therapy with her where, because talk therapy does work for me pretty well.
Yeah.
It's very helpful for me, especially as someone who I have a really hard time compiling my thoughts. And so having someone be there to help kind of prompt and unpack was great. She never really fully got the religious trauma stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
It always, like, not that it was too much for her, but it shocked her, and I could tell.
Oh.
Not shocked her, but like I could see a reaction where I was
judgmentally,
like, a little bit, but also like if like I need someone who either was in it or deeply understands what it was like to be in it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I had this therapist in Seattle, talk therapy, and she had no religious background whatsoever. So it was like trying to teach her about myself, but also teach her about religious trauma and Jesus and what it can do and what the church can do. And she could not compute.
Yeah. Especially when it came to like my biggest struggle, and today it crept into my most recent relationship is the purity culture stuff.
Yeah.
And how much it is affecting me in my own sexuality, not just being a queer woman, but in like actual like necessity time and like spice intimacy. There we go. Thank you.
I'm sorry
for the adult word.
I like the sassy time.
In intimacy, like that,
Blood.
it's holding me back.
Yeah.
And I found that I was like, oh, I didn't realize I hadn't like unpacked that fully yet, and that yep, okay. Well,
I also couldn't imagine trying to unpack that being in relationship with women.
Yeah,
it was already interesting to unpack that in relationship with men. There are parts of me that wish I met James earlier because he's gentler than anyone that I dated and is very easy to like be vulnerable with. But the men that I dated before that, yowza.
I will say like I was with a person who was like really great about it.
Sure.
And who understood to an extent where I was at and was very supportive in that I needed time.
And maybe that was what you needed from that relationship.
Yeah.
And you got to learn that about yourself.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I also at the same time in 2022 started seeing a psychiatrist so that I could get on meds because my therapist can't prescribe meds, and got my official diagnosis, which is complex PTSD and generalized anxiety disorder. AKA I'm scared all the time.
Scary. Whoa.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. But just like being validated for the first time that it wasn't just in my head. That it is all in my head, but that it's there.
Yes.
That it is in my head.
And there's a name for it.
And yeah. And not that the diagnosis is even, first diagnosis change and flex, and that's a good thing. But I've been on sertraline ever since, so for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And which is generic Zoloft, if you don't know.
Zoloft.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now you do.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it does not work well. For me, it's worked really well. I have terrible night sweats, but that's kind of the worst of my...
That's an interesting side effect.
Oh, it's not great. I'm so hot all the time
weird.
at night. Yeah. Not hot, just sweaty.
Sweaty.
Like I just wake up drenched.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. So ceiling fan stays on all the time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Year round.
But the benefits outweigh.
But the benefits very much outweigh the night sweats.
That's
That is for
great.
sure.
Yeah.
It's just the first time where I felt like my confidence in my choices has increased.
Yeah.
Dramatically. My sleep quantity and quality. I had terrible night terrors since I was a kid. Some of my earliest memories are waking up from nightmares. You're welcome. Screaming.
Hot dogs!
Hot dogs chasing me. No, just Halsey screaming. It's fine. And I was genuinely terrified of ever having a partner because I'd be like, I'm gonna scare the shit out of them.
Yeah.
With my night terrors, because I wake up sobbing. It was just awful. I would wake up and go into a full panic attack.
I think maybe 40% of that it was where you were living. And that only just recently changed.
Yeah. Well, I had them in the condo. Before I was on meds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Now I don't live in a haunted house and I'm on mental health medication. So that's great.
Should she tell you that her dreams starped?
They
stopped?
I stopped having weird ass dreams finally the second I moved out.
I'm telling you, man,
because Grandpa's house is haunted.
Haunted AF.
And I lived in the bedroom where my great grandfather probably died.
Yep.
And he was watching me all the time.
Saged. Telling you.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I'm glad that they starped.
They starped and it was so good.
Well, part of what we wanted to talk about by the end is some resources if anybody wanted to look into this themselves. Also, we're happy to answer any questions more about our experience. You can check us out on our personal channels. Those links are down in the show notes or in the description of the episode. But Halsey came prepared with some Arizona resources.
Some Arizona.
And some national.
Some are national.
Awesome.
And most of them are both. So cool. The first is obviously for my queer babies, the Trevor Project.
Yeah.
I've been supporting the Trevor Project for well over a decade since I was in high school. Because of Tyler Oakley. Yeah. Shout out Tyler Oakley.
The OG.
I still have the t-shirt that says I'm saving lives with the Trevor Project.
He's so tiny.
But he's muscular now.
He is.
He got beefy. He just streams on Twitch now. I know. It's a very interesting stuff. Life. Anyways, the Trevor Project is a really great resource. I'm going to pull up the website for myself here so I can read their little thingy. Hold, please. So they both have a mental health hotline. They have resources for talking about suicide, resources about gender identity, LGBTQ plus mental health resources, community outsourcing, and they also have a thing called the Trevor Space where you can connect and with their international community and find people who understand exactly what you're going through.
Yeah.
They also have a text chat. They have an online chat, and then they have the phone.
Cool.
So,
and all their services are free and or sliding scale?
All of their resources are free.
Dope.
And then you can donate. It's all crowdfunded. So
nice.
Cool.
But they're pretty great. They do a lot. So they're very specifically mostly for ages 13 to 24.
Right.
The
children.
For for especially for the ones who live at home or don't have any form of support. So
at home.
So that's a good one. The other one is called 1 in 10. So because 1 in 10 people is probably queer.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, fun fact. And 1 in 10. So I specifically know about them because a friend of mine who I grew up with, actually in church, Becca from camp, works for their Northern Arizona offices. But
cool.
And they have a bunch of different programs. Again, also mostly for youth, but they also have parent resources like classes and stuff. They have community trainings that they do. Nice. They have camps and all kinds of different satellite offices around Arizona and around the U.S.
That's dope.
And yeah.
I wanted to know, we keep saying sliding scale. The resource that I was going to describe is just Googling this, but finding sliding scale therapy or counseling resources within wherever you live within your zip code, there's almost always something. What I am in Washington, there's one specifically for women, and you just pay what you can afford. That's the sliding scale of it. If you can afford more, please give more, because that will help benefit somebody else in the program so that their therapy is either free or very discounted. And Google's a fantastic resource to get you connected with what's available in your area. And there's almost always something in every state that is available to you. So do some research. What, did you have one more?
I actually have 2 more.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So to end 1 in 10, they also have a housing program.
Oh, whoa.
Because if you didn't know, it's something like 70% of homeless youth under the age of 24 are LGBTQ plus.
Wow.
And are usually kids who have been kicked out of their home or it was an unsafe situation for them to continue living where they were.
And more our homeless population, unhoused population, are kids, are teenagers or young 20s.
They also have life skills and education classes.
Cool.
For helping, and they have like a program where they can help young adults with like building resumes and how to do an interview and how to apply for jobs. And they also have health and wellness services, suicide prevention, healthcare, all kinds of stuff.
Right on.
And then the next one is Big Brothers Big Sisters. This is more for me wanting to encourage people to help others when it comes to mental health. I know personally I had mentors and people in my life as a teenager who really saw me and helped me get through those years in the ways that they could. And I then got to be that person for 5 years. And they actually specifically have an LGBTQ branch, which I didn't know about.
I didn't know that either. That's cool.
For Big Brothers Big Sisters. And
is there like an age range for that group?
Yes. So Big Brothers Big Sisters, you have to be 18. You have to have lived in whatever city you're wanting to do it for. You have to have lived in that city. I think it's a minimum of like 3 months.
Oh, that's.
You have to have a car. You have to, be able to pick up you have to be committed to picking up your student at least 3 to 4 times a month to see them.
Oh, wow.
Because the whole point is about being an active part of their life.
Consistency.
And a consistent part of their life. So I'm looking into maybe volunteering. It's a pretty, obviously for a very good reason, hard process to get approved.
Good.
Yeah.
But that's a very good thing.
Yeah.
You have to go through a lot of background checks and trainings.
As you should.
There's like months of training that you have to go through before you can get paired with a kid. So
that's great.
but they also have Tell me, did a rumbling.
I heard it.
Sorry. They have mental health events and events for people to come for physical resources, because that is a huge thing too that I always want to talk about with when it comes to mental health is if your physical needs are not being met, that is a huge, there's the, whatever it's called, the hierarchy of needs. So until certain physical needs are met, you can't deal with the other stuff. So I can't remember the name of the doctor, but it's basically, it's the hierarchy of needs. And so you'll see, especially a lot of people experiencing homelessness, of like, obviously they're having a mental break. It's hot. It's Arizona or whatever, wherever you live.
Yeah.
And they don't have access to a regular place to sleep. I'm not really going to be that worried about the fact that I'm going bonkers.
Crazy. Yeah. Absolutely.
Maslow's. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hierarchy of needs. Last one.
Yes.
Is Arizona specific.
Yes.
Really cool. It's called the Hope Foundation.
I've heard of it.
They are free therapy for those who qualify in Arizona specifically. Is completely free. You do have to, apply for it. But you are able to sponsor people. Their whole thing is create a better world where cycles of destruction are broken because the gift of therapy is accessible to all.
Oh.
And that's their vision. They are a mental health foundation. You apply, basically they look at your income. You have to live in Arizona, you have to have selected a therapist, and then you have to be able to show your financial need and be able to provide identification. But so basically, like, they make it, instead of like, oh, you have to go to our therapist, they make it where, oh, you have a therapist that you can't afford to go to, apply for this and we'll pay for it.
That's so
nice.
Cool. Right on.
So
thank you for those.
You're welcome. And they also have a hotline and all that kind of stuff.
I love that. I love the Trevor Project too.
And they have a shop with cute t-shirts that I thought about.
How cute. You may have noticed that none of our resources were BetterHelp.com because
fuck BetterHelp.
Fuck BetterHelp.com. And on that note, kind of don't know.
They've just like screwed people over. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah,
there'll be a documentary about it one day.
They're not regulated in any way, and advertising is their main objective. To collect as many patients as possible. And there are people who are not educated as therapists, becoming therapists or applying to be therapists on their networks and therapizing people that they shouldn't be therapizing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I told Bailey's story before we got on here, but that I had a friend who got literally basically ghosted, but hung up on by a therapist.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
During a session. So
anyway,
on BetterHelp.
Hey, thanks for talking about mental health. If you have any questions, please reach out. And maybe you can give me those links and I'll put them in the show notes.
Yes, ma'am.
So that you too can get some resources or pass them along to someone in need. Thanks so much for joining us today on Blood and Contracts. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit that bell so you know when new episodes are coming out for Tarot Time, Contract Kitchen, and Blood and Contracts, all in one place. And if you're on a podcast platform, please rate and review this show after you're done listening. Maybe share this episode with a friend because we'd love to meet more people. And my name is Bailey. I'm joined by my sister by blood,
Halsey,
my sister by contract,
Kelly.
And we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.